Episode number 230.
Hello, you're listening to the Career Changemaker podcast. Having the courage to leave a career that you have worked hard to build and try something else can be tough. So in each episode, we dive into key career change strategies so that you have a clear understanding of what is required to transition into a new role or a new industry without feeling like you have to start at the bottom or have to take a massive pay cut, because ain't nobody got time for that. If you are ready for frank and honest discussions about how to become a career change maker, keep listening. I'm your host, lawyer turned career strategist and executive coach, Janine Esbrand.
Hello, and welcome to the show. Welcome to September. I am super excited to be back with you again, recording new episodes. I'm hoping that you enjoyed the reruns over the summer. By the looks of the number of downloads, I think you did. And now I am excited to be moving into this new season. September always feels like a second new year for me. I'm sure it does for you. When the schools go back, it's a new school term, and it always feels like it's a fresh opportunity to hit the goals that we set earlier on in the year. If you are somebody who is looking to make a career move, looking to make some kind of shift or pivot in your career, now is definitely the time where you should be focused on this. In terms of the market and where employers are, employers tend to want to fill their open vacancies before the end of the year. And once everyone's come back off of summer break, now is the time that people turn their attention to getting new hires in and thinking about who is in the pipeline for promotion. And so this is definitely a good time. And over the next few weeks, I want to be sharing with you some topics that have been coming up through conversations in my coaching program with my clients, and topics that I think are going to be helpful for you as you navigate your way through in this season. So today, the thing I want to talk about that is so powerful that many people overlook when they are positioning themselves for new opportunities is your career story. We had a session around this inside of my coaching program last week, and my clients found it to be really useful, and I thought I would come and talk to you about it here, because if you are not crafting an effective career story, you are missing an opportunity to position yourself in the best light for any opportunity that you're considering. What do I mean by career story? Well, career story is the narrative that you share around your career history and the journey that you've been on in your career to date. Often when we look at our career, particularly if we've moved around a little bit, it can feel a bit disjointed. It can feel a bit like you've done lots of different things and you can't see the thread. Or if you have worked in one place for a very long time, you might feel like, well, there isn't really a story here. Your career story allows you to really dig in and mine your experience and recognize the gems, recognize the experience that is going to be attractive and compelling to a potential employer, and speak about it in the right way with the right type of emphasis. So when you are considering making any kind of move, taking the time to audit what you've done in the past is one step, but then understanding how to bring that all together in a story that you are able to tell inside of an interview conversation, inside of a networking conversation, can be the difference between you standing out as a candidate that they absolutely want to see again and you blending in with everybody else who's applying. There have been so many times where I'm working with clients through this process, and as they are sharing their past experience and as they are really digging in and talking about things that they've done in the past, they recognize that there's so much goodness, there's so many experiences that they jump over, that they overlook, that they don't recognize as great. They will be having a conversation with me and sharing with me some of the things that they did, and then they will mention something and I have to pause them and say, wait, hold on, back up. What did you just say? You were published in what publication? Or you worked in what country? Or your work was featured where? You did what with who? Like, I find myself really making them pause, and then my reaction helps them to recognize, oh, that's actually valuable. That's actually something that does make me stand out. When you are so close to it, and when you've been doing something, particularly if it's something that starts to feel easy for you, it's hard to see where the value comes from that particular activity or that particular experience. And that's the value of having an external person looking at what it is that you're doing and helping you to see where that adds value to the marketplace or where that adds value in relation to the type of opportunity you want to move into. So when you're thinking about your career story, it's really important for you to take time to slow down and look at what it is that you've done and how it's relevant to where you want to go next, and make sure that you're highlighting the bits of your experience that are most relevant for the opportunity that you want. Often when people are answering the question in the interview, tell us about yourself, that is a brilliant opportunity for you to share your career story. But often people go in unprepared and they answer that question using a chronology. So they will start with, when I was at university, I did this, and then after uni, I went to this, and then after that, I went to this, and then I moved to this company, and then I moved to this role, and now I'm here. Chronology is not as impactful as you crafting a compelling career story that highlights the parts of your experience that are most relevant. You don't necessarily have to go in order of when you did a role, but it's better for you to focus on which parts of my experience and my past would they want to hear about given the role that I'm applying for. So what do I want to emphasize and what do I want to gloss over? Taking the time to do this is going to do a few things. For you, it's going to help you to recognize how relevant your experience is. And you need that if you are looking to make a career shift or a pivot or a leap, because if you are trying to move into a new space, it's likely that there is imposter syndrome that comes up. It's likely that you have doubt or fear that comes up around whether or not your experience is enough or it is good enough. When you start digging into your career story, you start to realize there are synergies, there is relevance, there is overlap between what you did in the past and what you want to do going forward. So once you're able to convince yourself of that relevance and that synergy, then it's easier for you to convince somebody else. So it helps you to understand that you are actually a good fit for the role, or that you can do it, you are capable of doing it. And then it also helps you to stand out. Those bits of experience that you have that are different from the marketplace in terms of everyone else that might be applying, or everyone else who may be in that space that you're trying to get into, those differences are your competitive advantage. Those differences, those internships that you got, or the experience that you gained, or the exposure that you had in a different place, or your accolades that you've achieved, those things help you to stand out, but people don't know that you have them if you don't talk about them. So doing a career story that gives you the opportunity to really sell yourself and what it is that you've done is going to mean that you give them an opportunity to find something within your story that they can hold on to and refer back to, so that when you're not in the room and they're discussing you and maybe other candidates, they have an anchor point from your story that they're able to say, oh, she's the person who did X, or she's the one that did Y, or he's the one who did that really interesting thing. So the career story is such a powerful tool that we teach inside of the Career Changemaker program to help clients to feel equipped to really take their existing experience and leverage it for the better. Now, if you're convinced that the career story is something that is missing currently from your arsenal, it's not something that you have currently been thinking about or using as you are positioning yourself for your next opportunity, and it's something you want to learn, then come and join us inside of the Career Changemaker program. We are opening up the enrollment for the program for the last time in 2023 and taking a handful of clients into the program. So if it's something that has been on your radar that you've been thinking about, I invite you to make an application now, and then we can have a conversation and make sure that the program is a good fit for where your goals are heading. So that's all I have for you today. I'm super pumped about what's to come, and I look forward to speaking to you very, very soon.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe to the show so that you don't miss any future episodes. Also, I would love to know what your biggest takeaway has been from today's episode. Come over and join us in our Career Changemakers community over on LinkedIn so that you can join the conversation there.